Good afternoon. This is the Thurston County Board of County Commissioners for 12 December 2017. I'm Commissioner Bud Blake, Chair of the Board this year. I'd like to start off by doing introductions. To my left is Commissioner Gary Edwards. To my right is Commissioner John Hutchins. To his right is Labanita Bomar, the Clerk of the Board. To her right is Romero Chavez, the County Manager. To his right is the Budget Officer and Assistant County Manager, Robin Campbell. And to her right is Elizabeth Petcher, the Deputy Prosecuting Attorney. With that in mind, I'll ask Commissioner Hutchins to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
And I, in turn, will ask Greg Remote, please. Greg, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Please join me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. So I'll call the meeting to order, and I'll start off by just doing a note, and then I'll do a reminder at the end. This is the last BoCC for 2017. The next time we'll meet is on January 9th at 2 o'clock in 2018. So I look forward to seeing you there, and as far as the Board of County Commissioners. So with that in mind, is there approval to approve the agenda for today?
I move to approve the Tuesday, December 12, 2017 agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve today's agenda. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries. Is there a motion to board meeting minutes for December 5th, 2017?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the board meeting minutes from December 5, 2017.
Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the board meeting minutes for 5 December 2017. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries as well. So we're at item number 1 here on the agenda, and it's the opportunity for the public to address the board. And so what happens is there's a sign-up sheet. There's still some in the back, but I have one here for those who are first come, first serve. I'll go down the list by the way that you signed in. Up on the right, you'll see a 3-minute clock here in a second when Labanita hits the button. You have the,
Yeah, where did you test your mic, though?
there you go. What's wrong with my mic? Okay. So I'll speak a little louder. For those who's first come, first serve, there's a 3-minute time. And when you get to the podium, just kind of give me your name and where you're kind of from in the general portion of the county. And then we'll just take it from there. So first person I have is Mr. Virgil Clarkson, who is also the Lacey City Council member. So Virgil?
Forever.
Forever. That's right.
Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Virgil Clarkson. I reside at 1505 Holman Drive Southeast in the great, great, great city of Lacey. Yeah. Half my minutes is gone. But I'm here today not with my hand out and not with any rebuttal for anything that you've done in the past. But I'm here as primarily to say thank you for being who you are and what you are. I'm trying to make a little round to all the jurisdictions and the Board of County Commissioners, say thank you for all those things that we've been able to work together with over the last 20 years on my behalf, both as an individual and both as a member of the City Council for the City of Lacey. It has been a wonderful experience for me, and I just want to say thank you, and I'm not going away. I'm going to stick around and be that thorn in your fingernail,
There
but
you go.
I'm going to try to be as kind and thoughtful as I have been in the past. So once again, thank you very much, and I appreciate it.
We thank you, and I think Gary and Hutch might want to say something too.
Thank you very much, Virgil, for your long service to this community and all you've accomplished over the years and represented almost every segment of our society, and you've seen those changes take place, and you've been there in the forefront guiding those processes, whether or not you were in the council or not at the time. And I just want to thank you very much for all you've done for our community. Thank you.
And I as well. We go back several years when we were on the board of directors with together, and I was taken by your sage advice even back then, and they're just so pensive. You have still waters run deep, and then over the years of our friendship, then last year when I was contemplating this job, I've bent your ear several times and still decided to run. Because you are a great role model and a mentor. Virgil, thank you, sir, very much for all you've done for this community, because it's not going to be long forgotten.
Yeah, I too would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've mentored me in many occasions, and while I know you've served on as a mayor and a Lacey City Council member, I look at you in terms of what you've done off duty, so to speak, and what you've done for some of the nonprofits around here and other organizations, whether it be children or the senior population and anything between. It's absolutely been phenomenal, the impact you made as far as touching people's lives and inspiring them to do better. I will deeply, deeply appreciate all your work and effort for what you've done here, and thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
And Barbara, too. She's been there the whole
Yes.
take of the way, yeah. So.
Thank you.
Hey, can we get a picture, Virgil?
Yeah, did you bring a picture with you?
Can we get a picture real quick?
A photo.
Come on up here.
Come on now.
Yeah, you asked for it.
Well, I didn't ask for this.
Well, we got your old Marine up here, so.
That's true. Old Marine.
That's good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And make sure that somebody gives them a new camera for Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, Virgil, as you slide out in case we don't see you.
And to Barbara.
And to Barbara. Yeah. Okay, so the new. So the next person I have on my list is Kevin Armstrong. There you go.
That's not Kevin.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Patty, how you doing?
Doing well. How
Do
are
me
you?
a tiny favor and pull the mic down just a tad so I can catch your voice. There you go. Thank you.
I really talk loud, so you
Okay.
probably won't need that.
And you have the
Actually,
floor.
I'm here today to do a presentation to Hutch.
Oh,
Hutch
good.
has been a part of the critical incident stress management team probably since its inception when Methuselah was a baby. And he has since retired, and we just wanted to put forth our little token of appreciation. So are you allowed to step off the balcony?
No.
I gave him a good. Go out there and get the thing, get a photo. Yeah.
Basically, it says, in appreciation and recognition of your years of service and dedication to the Thurston County CISM team, a heartfelt thank you.
Go out there.
And here's a little cover so it doesn't get scratched. Think of everything.
Patty, could you give a little explanation to the audience, besides our audience here, but
I studied for this.
oh, okay. Good. Let people know what Hutch has really been doing.
I think you
But-
still hear me right.
However, Mr. Sism is in the back, and he needs to come up and identify himself as well. He's the original team member.
I know, he wouldn't do it.
I'm trying it.
That's okay. Critical Incident Stress Management Team is a team of first responders made up police, fire, dispatch, and anybody who's like in first response. They're specially trained, and we have like if there's a critical incident, if there's a particularly grisly scene, officer-involved shooting, anything with children involved, and officers, first responders, fire, dispatch, all of them. It's just to kind of help them get back on track and kind of work through it. It's a voluntary meeting where everybody who was involved in the scene will meet up and just talk about your feelings, about how it affected you, what you brought out of it, and kind of get them along the balance to healing. It helps keep our first responders healthy and able to keep serving it. And Hutch was an awesome, like I said, he was pretty much part of the original team too. It's all voluntary. I retired from Tumwater Police Department after 27 years just last June, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. It's an awesome and very important part keeping the people who help you healthy enough to do that.
Yay.
And it's also sponsored, helpful with Medic One, who is here today as well. Good.
And when, back in 2001, when I applied to be on the team, and Kevin Armstrong, retired OFD, and the committee would ever allowed me to be on the team, I was honored, not knowing really what I was getting into, but kind of had a feeling, because I'd been through a critical incident stress debriefing. And there's nothing better than rekindling someone's spirit.
Yes.
And when you have a friend, a firefighter, medic, police officer, deputy that's hurting, you dare to help them heal. And there's no better feeling. I'm allergic to poinsettias, apparently. Just move that to the side. Than to have a young man or woman, or even old man or woman in the field or in the profession say, thank you, you saved my family, you saved my career. And I said, no, it's not me, it's all about you. So it's a powerfully important thing that we offer our first responders in healing after some major crisis, major critical event in their lives. So thank you, Patty, very much on behalf of the team. Thank you, and Kevin, thank you dearly. You're a dear, dear man.
Thank you, John.
But I want a picture with you, Kevin. And Patty.
Patty. Come on, Patty. No, go ahead, y'all.
No, that's well deserved right there.
Oh, wait. Wait a minute. It's upside down. Wait a minute. Upside down.
Hold it up. You got a new camera already. You listen to that Virgil.
Virgil was always making changes.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you, Patty. Thank you, Kevin. The next person I have on my list is Mr. Jerry Durker. Hello, Jerry. How you doing there?
Oh, not too bad.
Can you do me a favor and raise the mic a little bit? There you go.
There we go.
All right.
All righty. There I am.
Yep, the floor is yours. Go
Jerry
ahead.
Durker, 2826 Cooper Point Road Northwest, Olympia, Washington, 98502. Sorry, I keep giving my old address.
That's quite all right.
This is sort of a continuation of the request for recusal under the appearance of fairness doctrine. I found something that came into my hands from the city of Olympia. It's a shared legislative partnership between the city of Olympia, the city of Tumwater, the city of Lacey, Thurston County, the Port of Olympia, the Thurston County Chamber of Commerce, and the Thurston County Economic Development Council, which was part of a contract, a public contract, for employment of the Thurston County Chamber of Commerce. This is for a scope of work for a shared legislative agenda partnership that started October 1st, 2016. And this is a pretty serious problem here because since you're apparently in a the county's apparently in a partnership with the Thurston County Chamber of Commerce, that puts, besides the problem with the prosecuting attorney's office being a member of the organizational member of the Chamber of Commerce and these other problems. This is a direct violation of the appearance of fairness doctrine, and I have to ask you to recuse yourselves and not vote on things that the Chamber has interests in. This is a very serious problem, and I don't know why someone hasn't taken care of this to cease and desist the county's interactions and contracts with the Chamber of Commerce, because the case of Save versus Bothell is very clear that this is not the kind of agency or organization that you guys can have a actual membership or partnership with. And frankly, I have to let the prosecuting attorney's office representative over here, Elizabeth Petrie, know. Right now, the attorney-client privilege exemptions that have been put forth by your attorney for some of the documents that I've requested based upon this cannot be maintained because since the prosecuting attorney's office is an organizational member of the Chamber of Commerce, it's in a conflict of interest, and there's an appearance that there's already been disclosure to the Chamber about these kinds of issues and this material that has been seen by you guys asking questions to the county prosecuting attorney's office, things like that. And that's an appearance of fairness problem too. So I would ask that be stopped, and that those people recuse themselves from those decisions that they may make on these kinds of issues that are interests of the Chamber of Commerce, as required by law. Thank you.
Thank you much, sir. Romero, did you? Nope. Okay, good. All righty. So that brings us to the point where everybody who signed in, as far as testifying, is there anybody in the audience that'd like to come forward? Yeah, Mr. Moe, come up here. Just kind of tell me your name and where you're from in the county.
Okay, Gregory Moe, Thurston County, Northeast. 2017 was the fourth year that Thurston County Realtors have rung the bell for the Salvation Army. 2017. And each year we've done this, the amount has increased steadily. In 2016, Thurston County Realtors collected $12,977, almost $13,000. And this year we collected $16,775. And that is, over 100 realtors were involved in this. We had 13 doors at 13 stores, and in 8 hours, $16,775 for the Salvation Army. And all that money stays local. The Salvation Army Olympia Corps here in town. So, thank you very much.
Last rekindling the heart. Yeah, that's amazing.
You bet.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
We have a question, Gary.
You know, thank you very much, Greg, for what you do in your organization, but it also speaks volumes for the citizens here in Thurston County that are willing to step forward and help others, and I think that just talks about where we're at.
It does, and
Thank
I
you
was,
so much.
yes, you're welcome, Gary. I was ringing it at the Walmart in Lacey, and this year I had 2 people within the space of 1 hour come up and thank me because their lives have been touched by the Salvation Army in the past. And some people that you wouldn't think, they pull out money and put it in the kettle. It's wonderful.
Thanks.
All righty. Is there anybody else by the show of hand who'd like to come to the podium to address the board? Seeing no one? Okay, we'll move on with the agenda. So the next item we have on the agenda is number 2, which is the county manager's update. Do you have anything there, Romero?
Thank you, Commissioners. Excuse me. Yes, I have 2 items for you today. The first one is one very important item. Tomorrow, December 13, is Commissioner Blake's birthday.
Oh, my God.
So I would like to ask the audience to join me in
That is
wishing
not the
Commissioner
most important
Blake
thing.
a happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, now I see what happened.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, dear.
Yeah, bud. Yeah, thank you so
Well,
much.
happy birthday.
Okay, somebody's gonna pay on it. I know who that person is, so, but this bud is for you, just for you. Okay.
So the second item
Yeah,
that I
the
have
second
for you,
item, that's what we want.
last week you received testimony from Mr. Doug Carman, and he was he was requesting the commissions for him to be part of the stakeholders group related to the shoreline management plan. A little bit of a background on that. The shoreline management plan has one stakeholders group, what we call the regulators stakeholder group. And that, as the label states, is composed of all the regulators that perhaps may have an impact on approving or not some of the changes that we're proposing as part of the shoreline management plan. So in order to address Mr. Carman's request, we are going to be creating a subgroup called the Interested Party Subgroup, where Mr. Carmen, among other citizens and other interest groups such as the Olympia Master Builders Association, will be part of that group, coordinate with the staff any particular changes on the shoreline management plan. And this group will provide recommendations to the regulators, the stakeholders group. I just want to close the loop. That's how we're going to be addressing Mr. Carmen's request to you of last week. Do you have any questions?
Comment or question?
Sounds good.
No.
I like it.
All right.
Nope.
That's what we're all about, making it happen. Okay, so item number 3 is the consent items, and we have consent items A through G on the agenda today. Is there a motion to approve the consent items?
Mr. Chair, I move to approve consent items A through G.
Second?
It's been moved and second to approve the consent items A through G. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye, and that motion carries. So the first departmental item we have is number 4, which is the public defense. And we have Mr. Patrick O'Connor, who's going to give us a little bit of background on the mitigation services for ITA, chemical dependency, involuntary treatment defense services. And can you say what ITA stands for?
Involuntary Commitment Act. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Yes, I'm asking the board to approve and authorize the Director of Public Defense to sign two, not execute, sign two contracts for 2018. One is for our mitigation services. That's already $25,000 of that's already in our budget. Not to exceed $79,000 in the balance to come from treatment sales tax. And ITA is civil commitment proceedings that we are obligated to defend individuals who are potentially being involuntarily committed. We don't offer those services internally. We have to contract for those services. And this extends that contract through 2018.
All right, any questions of Mr. O'Connor?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Nope.
Nope. Is there a motion to?
I move to authorize the Director of the Public Defense Office to sign contracts for mitigation services during 2018 with renewal options for 2019 and 2020 for the amount not to exceed $79,000, and to Superior Court Adult Involuntary Treatment Act Defense Services for 2018 for the amount not to exceed $100,000.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries for you, Mr. O'Connor.
Thank you, Commissioners.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you,
so the
Patrick.
next item we have is number 5, which is emergency services, and I have Mr. Kirk Harden, who's Director of Emergency Services. He's going to give us a little bit of background on medic unit gurneys, of all things, huh?
Of all things. Good afternoon, Commissioners. I'm here to request that the Board approve a resolution to allow the purchase of Power Pro ambulance cots off the United States General Services Administration contract. These cots would be ordered this month, if approved, for delivery in early 2018. We have 5 new medic units being delivered this month, and so they'd be installed, if these cots were approved, they'd be installed early in 2018. These cots are necessary because the current cots that we have are no longer supported by the manufacturer, so we have to go out and scrounge off of eBay and other locations spare parts for these current gurneys. Also, these current gurneys are over 10 years old, so they've exceeded their life expectancy. So the request here would take care of that by installing them in the new medic units, and the total cost of the 5 gurneys is $183,972. The department obtained 2 other quotes for the same cots, and the GSA quote was the lowest with a cost savings of approximately $9,113. We also went to our stakeholder agencies that had paramedic units, the 3 fire agencies, and we had also a pilot program to test out the 2 different power gurneys that are out there. This particular power gurney was recommended unanimously by the paramedics who use them in the field. And so these cots use a power lift system to load patients into the medic unit, while the current cots are manual load into the system. The current cots were acquired over 10 years ago, as I mentioned before, and are not supported by the manufacturer anymore. The power loading cots are designed to reduce back injuries. Medic One pays the overtime to staff medic units when a paramedic is out on an L&I claim for a back injury, work-related. The cost for overtime backfill is approximately $15,000 per month for one paramedic. The power cots are expected to be in service for 10 years, and if the typical back injury lasts more than 2.5 months, they will have paid for themselves if 10 back injuries are prevented over the next 10 years. The cot replacement is in the approved 2017-2018 biennial budget. So therefore, I request that the Board of County Commissioners approve the resolution to purchase the cots off the GSA contract.
any questions, comments?
No, good job. Good presentation. We've been discussing this for quite some time.
About the gurneys?
As we have as the staff.
Sure. And
For the, either the people in the audience or the people at home watching, you explained a tiny bit about the cost, the cots rather, and the cost of the cots. But can you go into a little more of the mechanics? Because they're not just clap on, clap off. And explain that, would you,
Sure.
how
Yeah.
they work?
Yeah, so the cots, currently, the current cot system is, that we utilize is manual. So you manually lift the patient and the cot up into the medic unit. I will tell you that depending on the size of the patients nowadays, that can be a strain, especially when you only have 2 or 3 first responders out there that are lifting that cot into the back of the unit. These power cots have a system installed into the medic unit so that the cot comes out, goes to the patient, patient's loaded on the cot. When it comes back to the vehicle, there is a system that manually or that automatically grabs the cot, takes it, and pulls it up inside the unit, the Medic 1 unit. And actually, Commissioner Edwards got an opportunity to see that a couple months ago when we were filming another piece in August for Medic 1. He had an opportunity to see it and demonstrate it because we had the pilot program there in Lacey Fire District 3. And it's fairly slick, and it can lift up to 700 pounds. And right now, our only other option for patients who are that large, we have to get a bariatric unit, and the only one that we maintain is at Lacey Fire District 3, and we have to have that dispatched in case we need that system to be able to lift a patient, and that causes a delay in transport.
So this is why they're so doggone expensive.
Yes.
Really. And they're designed to last quite some time.
We have a shelf life of approximately 10 years, and again, like I mentioned before, if they prevent 10 back injuries over those 10 years, they'll pay for themselves.
And did Commissioner Edwards get to ride in one or just
that's what I heard.
I just
watch
watched.
it? Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
All right. Is there a motion?
I move to approve a resolution allowing for the purchase of Power Pro ambulance cots for a total cost of $183,972.44 through the United States General Services Administration Department, and authorize the Director of Emergency Services to sign the agreement contract to purchase the gurneys and any forthcoming changes that do not amend the funding or duration of the agreement/contract.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and that motion carries.
Thank you.
You bet, sir. So the 6th item we have here is from the Public Health and Social Services. We have Mr. Art Starry, who is going to give us a little bit of background on the Local Source Control Partnership Agreement with the Department of Ecology. Hello, Art. How you doing there?
Oh, pretty good. Once again, I'm Art Starry. I'm the Environmental Health Director for Thurston County Public Health and Social Services. And as Commissioner Blake indicated, I'm here to ask you to authorize our director to sign an agreement between us and the Department of Ecology for something called Local Source Control Specialists. And the idea behind this program is for our staff, is to pay for our staff to be able to work with businesses that generate hazardous materials and hazardous wastes, and to work with them to provide technical assistance and regulatory assistance to help them manage those wastes properly, to keep them from being spilled on the ground or dumped down the drain or something like that that endangers public health or pollutes waters of the state. And again, the intent of the program is to work with folks to prevent those sort of releases or those sorts of accidental spills and avoid problems, but it also, again, gives us an opportunity to see how folks are doing. This is similar to programs that we've run in the past. This is a new type of contract, but we've actually done these sorts of things for several years under a different funding source. However, we had to stop that because the state capital budget hasn't been passed. And so that without that funding, we're kind of left in the lurch. We're not able to provide the assistance we'd like for the businesses. So our staff were able to work with the Department of Ecology to find this new funding source, which will pay for about half an FTE worth of time for a year and a half. It provides 100% grant funding for the staff time, which is good. We don't even have to provide match. It also covers our indirect and overhead, which is an important thing for us to cover as well. So I'm asking you to approve this, or to authorize our director to sign the agreement. And if you have any questions, I'd do my best to try to answer them.
Questions for Art?
No, I don't think we have money coming out of the general fund on this issue, do we?
No.
No questions. Thank you very much, Art.
Ready for the move?
I'm ready for the motion.
I move to approve interagency agreement IAAC 1800077 between Thurston County and the Washington State Department of Ecology with a maximum compensation amount of $120,000 for the period of January 1, 2018 to June 30, 2019, and authorize the Director of Public Health and Social Services to sign this agreement and future amendments that do not change the approved dollar amount or duration by more than 25%.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and motion carries. Art.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So, we're on number 7, which involves resource stewardship, and we have Mr. Jeremy Davis, who's going to ask about sign codes and set a public hearing.
Yes, good afternoon, Chair Blake, Commissioners. Jeremy Davis, Thurston County Resource Stewardship, Long Range Planning. I'm here to request the Board of County Commissioners set a public hearing on some code amendments to our sign regulations for non-commercial signs primarily here in unincorporated Thurston County. The proposal would amend the Thurston County zoning ordinance as well as the 3 zoning ordinances for the unincorporated urban growth areas for the cities of Lacey, Tumwater, and Olympia. The reason for the proposed change is that back in 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court rendered a decision on a case that came out of Gilbert, Arizona on non-commercial signage in the right-of-way. And the Supreme Court came down and said that jurisdictions can't have content-based regulations in their sign code. So staff has worked with the Thurston County Prosecuting Attorney's Office as well as a subcommittee of the Planning Commission that included 3 planning commissioners as well as a representative from Fast Signs out of Lacey, City of Olympia, and Tony Cantus from Current Planning, as well as on the Planning Commission side we had Mr. Simmons, who's actually here today, who's also with the Realtors. So the Planning Commission actually completed its review back in December 2016. Following their review, though, we learned that we did have to accommodate non-commercial signs in the right-of-way as well. So we took some time working with the Public Works Department and others on developing controls for allowing those non-commercial signs in county-owned or operated right-of-way. We're requesting the board set the public hearing for January 9th at 5:30. We'll go through our usual notification process, which includes publishing a notice in the newspaper. We'll also contact the Thurston County Realtors again to make sure that they know when the date and time of the public hearing, talk to the Chamber of Commerce and other interested parties for that public hearing.
Any questions or comments?
For those people that might want to look this up, do you recall the case itself from the Supreme Court?
Yeah, it was Reed v. Gilbert, Arizona. And that was a 2015 U.S. Supreme Court case.
Thank you. That's it.
Nope.
And this is non-commercial signs, is it?
This is primarily dealing with non-commercial signs. There are some minor changes to move real estate signs over to the exempt or not needing a permit column. So.
Okay, great. So, okay, is there a motion to approve?
I move to set a public hearing for January 9, 2018 at 5:30 p.m. or soon thereafter at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building 1 in Room 280, to accept public comment on whether or not to amend the sign regulations in the Thurston County Zoning Ordinance Title 20, the Zoning Ordinance for the Lacey Urban Growth Area Title 21, the Tumwater UGA Zoning Ordinance Title 22, and the Olympia UGA Zoning Ordinance Title 23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries. And
Thank
do
you,
have
sirs.
you have another item?
Yep.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so my second item today is to request for the Board of County Commissioners to set a public hearing to amend the Thurston County Impact Fee Code. Upon further review of the request from Southeast Thurston Fire Authority on their impact fees, we went through and looked at the code again to do a final conformance review and found that there were a couple other minor changes in there. And that they were limited to residential uses only, and all along the intent and the request from Southeast Thurston has been to apply those impact fees to both commercial and residential uses. And so the proposed change would remove 2 specific words out of the enabling language. It says residential development and put in construction in there. So the hearing request is for January 9th at 3 o'clock, and we'll go through our usual notification. We'll also notify all interested parties in that.
questions about?
No.
Ninth and, okay, any questions?
And the fire district knows of this?
Yes, we actually have already talked to them today as well as the master builders.
Okay, great. No, that's it.
All right, is there a motion?
I move to set a public hearing for January 9, 2018 at 3 p.m. or soon thereafter at the Thurston County Courthouse, Building 1 in Room 280, to accept public comment on whether or not to amend Title 25 impact fees to clarify the applicability of impact fees collected on behalf of the fire authorities and districts.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners. Have a good afternoon.
You do the same.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. So the next item is number 8, which is Public Works, and we have Mr. Craig Sissons here, who is going to give us background on a contract for the right-of-way acquisition on-call consult services. Is that true, sir?
That is correct.
All
Thank
right.
you, Commissioners. In order to augment and supplement staff's technical abilities and allow quick response to emergency needs and emergencies, Public Works solicited requests for qualifications for right-of-way acquisition services. 6 firms responded, and Public Works staff selected the top 3 firms to place under contract. The roster that will be created upon execution of the contracts will allow staff to quickly obtain needed services as they arise and help keep programmed Public Works projects on schedule. Each contract will not exceed $250,000 without approval from the Board of County Commissioners. Work will be defined on a task basis for each scope of work needed. Individual tasks will be funded from adopted Public Works budgets. The contracts are proposed to be for an initial period of 2 years, with the option to extend each individual contract up to an additional 2 years for a total of 4 years maximum. Each contract is independent and will be judged separately for extension as appropriate for Public Works needs. These consultant contracts will support the projects that support the county's strategic plan, meeting the external goals of environment and sustainable resources, preserve and enhance our physical environment and natural resources, economic vitality and opportunity in promoting and advance sustainable economic vitality and opportunity for all citizens, and public safety and judicial services help keep people safe in their homes and communities.
Any comments or questions? No. How about you? No. Is there a motion?
I move to approve entering the right-of-way acquisition on-call consulting contracts with HDR Engineering Incorporated, Universal Field Services Incorporated, and Tierra Right-of-Way Services Limited for an initial period of 2 years with the ability to extend each contract individually to a maximum of 4 years, and authorize the Director of Public Works to execute each contract up to a maximum amount per contract of $250,000, each extension, and each individual task for needed consulting services.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and your motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank
Commissioners.
you.
Thank you.
The next public work item we have is item 8B. It's Mr. Matt Unzelman who's going to give us background on local agency supplement agreement consolidating remaining federal construction funding for a county project.
Let me start by saying thank you for saving the last 2 items of 2017 for yours truly.
We'll do it now.
In 2014, the Washington State Department of Transportation awarded $180,000 of federal funding to Thurston County for the development of a county road safety plan. This amount was less than the required $262,000 to complete the full scope of work involved in the contract work. The negotiated scope of work was reduced to match or reflect the amount of federal funds available. The county road safety plan was awarded to Cambridge Systematics in 2016, and the plan is expected to be completed by next year. The plan will provide the county a strategic direction for safety investment decisions and is also required to receive future federal safety funding. In 2014, WashDOT also awarded county for 3 other safety and projects that included a signing project that included signing upgrades all throughout the county, as well as installing rumble strips on Steamboat Island Road, where we had a lot of run-off-the-road collisions, and also at the Mud Bay Delphi Road signal. Construction has been completed on all three of these projects, and the total savings of these projects is $79,000. What I'm here today to do is to request permission from the Board of County Commissioners to execute a local agency supplement to transfer this unused federal safety funding to make the scope of work of the safety plan whole again.
Any questions, Matt?
No, I like that when you're not asking for money.
Yes, refreshing.
Is there a motion?
Are you say we always ask?
Hang on.
Matt, on
Sure.
your statement, you mentioned it was 79,000, and the action is 75,000.
It should be 79,000.
I have.
Mine is 79.
79 here.
Ours are kept up with inflation.
Yeah, ours is kept up with inflation there, Romero.
Yeah.
Please stand by.
Okay, sorry. I had an old agenda.
Oh,
Yeah, it's good.
okay, thank you.
I'm looking for a head shake from Robin. 79? Okay. Item B,
B,
boy,
you
B,
Give you
bravo.
the exact number, which is $79,809.04.
4 cents.
That's right.
Okay. Okay, ready?
Yes, is there a motion?
I move to approve local agency supplement agreement number 1 with the Washington Department of Transportation, transferring a total of $79,809.04 in federal funding from the county-wide signing upgrades project, CRP number 61498, Steamboat Island Road Northwest project, CRP number 61499, and Mud Bay Road Northwest and Delphi Road Northwest project, CRP number 61500, to the County Road Safety Plan, CRP number 61491, and authorize the Director of Public Works to sign local agency supplemental agreement number 1. Amen.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Yeah, I'll
Aye.
apologize for that. Every time I come up here, I promise you I'm going to shorten that motion up somehow.
That's all right.
But it's, yeah, it keeps getting longer.
This time your motion passed. So you're
You got
good.
another one. Try it
Well, you
again.
got another one
Yep.
just as long.
I don't know if I want it.
And this one's for mid-block crossing study, right?
All right, the last one in 2017. Public Works received 5 proposals in response to a request for proposals for consultant services to complete the Pacific Avenue and Yelm Highway mid-block crossing study. Public Works has evaluated the proposals and has determined that the most qualified consultant to complete the work is the Transpo Group from Kirkland, Washington. Public Works is requesting permission from the Board of County Commissioners today to execute a contract with the Transpo Group not to exceed $75,000. This study will identify mid-block crossing locations and the necessary improvements to enhance pedestrian and bicyclist safety on the Pacific Avenue and Yelm Highway corridors. Currently, currently crosswalks only exist at the signalized intersections, which creates long distance without marked crossings within these corridors.
Any questions on that?
Nope, I'm good.
It's important work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
And just for, what is a mid-block crossing? Just for the.
So
description.
mid-block crossing would be, let me give you an example.
Sure.
So you have a signal at Rich Road on Yelm Highway, and then you have a signal at Boulevard on
Yeah.
Yelm Highway, or a roundabout at Boulevard.
Yeah.
Mid-block crossing would be a crosswalk that's somewhere located in between those two intersections.
And it has the little flashy lights on it and everything?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
We like the flashy lights.
Okay.
They're called rectangular rapid flashing beacons,
Oh, okay.
if you want to impress your friends.
Okay. Okay.
So it'll be the flashing lights, flashy lights, but not the flags?
Oh, we can do flags too,
No,
but
no, no.
normally we just do the lights.
Okay, good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those much better
The
than
flags tend to disappear.
They disappear, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a motion?
Yes, wait.
Can't be as bad as the last one.
I move to approve a local agency A&E professional Services consulting agreement with Transpo Group to complete the Pacific Avenue and Yelm Highway Mid-Block Crossing Study, CRP number 61503, for an amount not to exceed $75,000, and authorize the Director of Public Works to execute the contract and any amendments due to unforeseen conditions only, not for changes in scope, up to 10% of the contract, $7,500, or an aggregate amount of $82,500.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries there, Matt. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks. We'll do it again
Thank you,
next year.
Matt.
Yep, come on back. So item number 9 is under the Commissioners and County Managers item, and so we have Robin Campbell, the budget officer in this role here, and also the Assistant County Manager. Give us background on the adoption of the 2017-2018 midterm budget resolution and ordinances, correct?
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. I'm pleased to come before you today to request your approval of the budget resolutions and all of the resolutions that are attached to the budget. I'd like to begin by thanking all of the people in the county who worked on the budget. Developing a budget is not a small task, as you have learned. Every office and department throughout the county had people working on the budget for probably the last 6 to 8 months. So I really appreciate all the work that they put into it. I especially want to thank the budget team, Michelle, Denise, Teresa. I don't see Mark, but he also did a lot of work on it. They're phenomenal, and we have a solid product thanks to their hard work. So I'm going to read the list of resolutions into the record so that you don't have to read all of them, and you'll be able to make a single motion. But I'm going to go kind of slowly. If you have any questions, please stop me at any point. We begin with the Public Infrastructure Plan, Resolution 15550, amends Chapter 6 of the County Comprehensive Plan, RCW 3670A 070 sub 3 requires counties to adopt a 6-year plan with funding identified. It's our capital facilities plan. So that's the first resolution. Resolution 15551 is the county's indirect cost plan, RCW 4309210, and the state auditor's BARS manual. Requires a fair and equitable distribution of internal service costs. So 15551 adopts the 2018 indirect cost plan. And what that does is distributes costs that are provided county-wide to all county funds. Chapter 3633A RCW requires counties to establish an equipment and rental revolving fund, and also requires commissioners to approve the purchases from that fund. So Resolution 15552 establishes the 2018 equipment and rental rates. The ER&R fund is what most people are used to hearing. It includes the capital outlay plan, the M&O rates, maintenance and operation rates, and a reserve fee for the replacement of equipment when the time comes. The next set of resolutions are increases in taxes and fees. There are 4. RCW 8452070 requires the board to certify to the county assessor the property tax. The board is increasing the property tax by the 1% levy increase. It includes new construction and refunds, and there is a road levy shift of $1.5 million. That's Resolution 15553, the property tax levy certification. There are 2 lake management districts RCW 3661-070 governs the approval of lake management districts. So the Lawrence Lake Management District, under Ordinance 15554, has rates increased by 5%, and the Long Lake Management District, under Ordinance 15555, has its rates increased 5%. Then we have RCW 3694-130, which governs and gives counties authority to operate utilities, including sewer and water systems. So Ordinance 15556 amends the rates for our water and sewer systems by 5 to 10%. The next set of resolutions are personnel actions. RCW 3616-070 gives the county's legislative body the authorization to establish employees, positions, and set compensation. So in Resolution 15557, the board is setting the salaries for non-union county employees effective January 1. You are allowing a 2% COLA for our non-union employees in the county, and all of the salary plans are attached to that. In Resolution 15558, you are creating a new employee classification, the Public Defender Investigator classification. That will be in the Office of Public Defense and will help to save the county money bringing those duties in-house instead of through contract. In Resolution 15559, the board is acting under the authority of Chapter 3617 RCW and Thurston County Code 2.118, which gives authority to establish a salary commission, a citizens commission on salaries, and they recommend the salaries of elected officials other than the Board of County Commissioners to the board. So in this resolution, again, that's 15559, it sets the annual salaries for the assessor, the auditor, the clerk, the treasurer, the coroner, the prosecuting attorney, and the sheriff. The next item is the operating budget. Let's see, RCW 3640, Chapter 3640 governs the budget. There are quite a few rules surrounding the budgets, and there's a whole process that we've gone through. We have followed every RCW in holding public hearings, giving public notice, publishing the book. We've done all those things. That gets us to today. So under RCW 3640-250, which gives the authority to have a biennial budget and requires a midterm adjustment, which this is, I'm asking the board to adopt Resolution 15560 to adopt the Thurston County operating budget midterm adjustment. The total general fund is approximately $103 million. The total operating budget only, $294.7 million. That includes budget and FTEs by department. The board appropriates by fund and department. It includes any changes to position control, and there are a limited number of provisos. Then you have the capital budget that is also authorized by Chapter 3640 RCW. The midterm capital adjustment, the total is $32.3 million in 2018. It's aligned with the capital facilities plan in 2018. And for the most part, we're moving projects forward that were not completed in 2017. And then the last item on the list, RCW 3632-120 sub 5 gives the Board of County Commissioners the responsibility for all accounts that are legally chargeable against the county and the requirement to monitor all money belonging to the county. So you have to establish funds, and we are requesting that we rename the real estate excise tax, also known as the REIT fund. It's currently combined, and RCW requires that REIT 1 and REIT 2 are separate. So we're splitting the fund in two. We're asking you to rename to the real estate excise tax REIT 1 and create a new fund for real estate excise tax, or REIT 2. And that's the entire list, and I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
You have questions?
I do. I have one question.
Okay, go ahead.
On, let's see, the fifth, it's not a resolution. We have resolutions down to number 5, and then it changes to ordinance for 5, 6, and 7.
Correct.
And then goes back to resolutions.
What's the difference?
Yeah, what is the difference? Not only for me, but probably for the public.
Sure. So an ordinance changes county code, and a resolution is a direction, if you will. And I'm going to turn to Elizabeth to help me out here. What's the difference between a resolution and an ordinance?
Get the microphone.
That's a good question. Sometimes it's significant, sometimes it isn't. Generally, resolution refers to county policies that impact county administration, things like that, policy statements perhaps of the commissioners. Ordinances are generally used when you're actually changing county codes, adopting regulations that affect people, the public. So that's a very general distinction.
Thank you.
I have no questions.
No questions? Nope. All righty. I don't have any questions either, but I'll make a comment. I'd like to thank Robin Campbell and her staff for the great work that she's put into this. For me, being here 3 years, this is a long time coming in terms of a biennium budget. I know this is just a midterm, but nonetheless, it makes it as far as a milestone and way the county is being responsible fiscally and budgetarily. I'm just waiting for the next couple of iterations of the biennium, straighten out some of the kinks, so to speak. And my gosh, this county is going to take off with a lot of good management, fiscal management. Thank you so much, Robin, and the staff that goes along. So,
thank you, Commissioner.
all right, is there a motion?
And ditto. Yes, I move to adopt the 2017-2018 midterm budget adoption resolutions and ordinances.
I'd like to make one statement before I second that, if I could. You're good.
Sure, second.
I just want to clarify that there are 13 resolutions and ordinances that we're going to adopt.
Yeah.
And that's just a friendly amendment. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
I'd second that.
So it's been moved and seconded to adopt the 2017-2018 midterm budget adoption resolutions and ordinances. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so the motion carries.
So thank you very much. And before you move on, I would just like to thank the board especially. For two of you, it was a huge learning curve. But it's your third time through this, so you know, even at the third year mark, it's still a lot of new things to learn. And you've put a lot of time into this, all three of you. I appreciate the time you spent. The budget's the biggest policy item that a legislative body does, and you've taken it seriously and done a good job working with all of us. Thank you very much.
It was a learning experience. This whole job has been a learning experience. I found out how much I did not know. I will openly point that out.
Okay. And there's more to learn, trust me. Wait to year 2. What'd you say, Robin? I said more to come. Oh, more to come, absolutely. Yeah, it never stops. So we're on 9B, back on the agenda. So 9B is the election of officers for 2018, and I'm going to ask the county manager, Ramiro Chavez, to address it.
Thank you again, Commissioners. Every year, at the end of every year, the Board of County Commissioners nominates individual commissioners to serve as the chair, co-chair of the Board of County Commissioners, as well as the Board of Health. Also, nominates the president and vice president of the transportation benefit districts. These nominations are for the 2018 calendar year. So you have three actions for your consideration. So I will leave it to your discretion as to how you move ahead on those.
I'll just go ahead with the motions.
Yeah, sure.
Get it done. Mr. Chair, I move to nominate Commissioner Bud Blake as the chair and Commissioner John Hutchings as vice chair and Commissioner Gary Edwards as board member for the 2018 Board of County Commissioners.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries. Is there another?
I move to nominate Commissioner Bud Blake as chair and Commissioner John Hutchings as vice chair and Commissioner Gary Edwards as board member for the 2018 Board of Health.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries as well. And is there another?
I move to nominate Commissioner John Hutchings as president and Commissioner Gary Edwards as vice president and Commissioner Bud Blake as board member of the 2018 Transportation Benefit District.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye, and that motion carries as well. So we also have item, I think it is 9C, which is the approval of the 2018 Commissioners' representation and assignments on boards, commissions, councils, and committees. And again, I'll ask Mr. Chavez to address this motion.
Yeah, this is your last item of the year.
Yay.
And just a matter of a background, the Board of County Commissioners are full-time commissioners. And as a result, you serve in a combination of over 35 boards, commissions, councils, and committees. So every year you do an assignment as to who will be representing the county in each of those committees. I will not be reading all the 35, but I'll just give you a sample as to what those committees are all about. For instance, Commissioner Blake serves on the Canvassing Board as the chair of the board. Commissioner Hutchins and Commissioner Blake serves on the Behavioral Health Organization, BHO. Also, there is a board as the Chehalis Watershed Cooperative, the Economic Development Council, the Mayor's Forum, the Washington State Association of County Board of Directors, the Lodge and Tax Advisory Committee, the TCOM Administrative Board, and the Admiral Service, just to give you an example of the many that you serve. So you have a busy schedule. What you see the citizens on camera is just a little piece of what it goes behind the scenes in terms of your daily activities, serving not just on the many briefings, conducting county business, but also serving in all those many committees that requires not just during the day, but also during the night as well and weekends. So, do you have any questions?
Well, I guess I'd just like to clarify so there's no mistake. I think there's over 30 of those boards and commissions if you were to read the whole list out, which
Yeah,
I'm not advocating
It's over
for.
35. That's
Yeah,
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, you want to try to get out of some of them?
No.
Last chance.
Yeah, that's it. Last chance. No?
Nope.
Okay, how about you, sir?
No, I don't want to get out of it.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the 2018 Board of County Commissioners' representation and assignments to boards, commissions, councils, and committees.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded as stated. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and so that motion carries. So now we're at 9D, which is where commissioners can report back on any of the sessions or any of those committees they sit on or anything they see in the general public that they like to speak or talk about. Is there something you'd like to talk about?
Well, just because I haven't talked about it lately, I'm just going to mention the
Okay.
pocket gopher.
There you go.
And I would advocate that those readers out there in our TV land or U2 land, wherever you're located at, you might want to go to the Olympians last Sunday paper. Quite an article, and I remember quite a discussion earlier in the year that, well, this gopher thing isn't so bad. I'd like to remind those people that it's not so bad if time or money does not matter to you. And so maybe just take a look at the article and remember that we're still dealing with that issue. And actually, I believe tomorrow we're having a bit of an update right here if anyone is interested to attend. That's all. I'll just let it go at that for now.
How about you? Is there anything you want to talk about in the general public?
Oh, there is. This last week, speaking of all the different boards and commissions and such, I attended the Virgil Clarkson celebration, his goodbye celebration last week at the Lacey Senior Center, and it was standing room only, as you can imagine. He's just iconic in this community for a couple decades. And attended the Leadership Thurston County's Government Day, along with Chair Bud Blake and a host of mayors from the county in a question and answer type session regarding politics and lessons learned and the ups and downs of this position or our relative positions. And that was very interesting. Leadership Thurston County is a wonderful program. Animal Services, I attended the JASCOM, that's the Joint Animal Services Committee, and the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. We had a meeting last week. I attended the Intercity Transit Holiday Banquet, which is an eye-opener to see all these men and women, and some of them are burly, truck driver, or bus drivers and such, get up and sing Christmas carols that will bring a tear to your eye. Besides having like one of the best service and safety records in the country right here in Thurston County. They've got some beautiful voices. Attended the Olympia Master Builders Christmas party last week, and this morning, you can talk about the legislative breakfast.
No, go ahead.
Attended the legislative breakfast, my first, but apparently it's been going on for many, many years here, and there was better than 36 people who showed up, senators, representatives, all the electeds in the county, and department directors, talking about our legislative actions for the next year and priorities, and for the next 60 days when session comes back in. And it was action-packed 90 minutes. My first one again, but it was an eye-opener and very impressive to see such a show of people, prominent people in our community, policymakers. And this Saturday, we will all three be I think you're going to touch on that. Then the roof. I'll let you do that. But it's the adoptive family. We're playing Santa Claus, but I'll let Romero talk about that. And this being the last meeting of the year, I'd like to thank my seatmates and the commissioners, all the commissioners' staff, to include La Bonita Bomar, for this last year. All of our assistants in the back and staff that keep us up and running. The county manager, Romero Chavez, and assistant county manager, Robin Campbell, and even Elizabeth Petrich, deputy prosecuting attorney, for keeping us on the up and up, keeping this machine, holy smoke, keeping this thing rolling and running. It is absolutely mind-boggling, but it's exceptionally impressive, and it could not do it without you folks and the people behind the curtain and these two fellows sitting right to the left of me. And as it came as a surprise to have the critical incident stress management people here to do that presentation to me, because when you think about it, rescuing the rescuers is exceptionally humbling. It's very humbling. So this has been a great meeting and a great year, and I look forward to 2018 and wish everybody a very Merry Christmas. Today, Happy Hanukkah, and whatever Festivus or holiday you celebrate. Thank you.
No, I think I'd just say, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, like Hutch said, whichever holiday you happen to recognize. And so just Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and look forward to doing this again next year.
Yeah, sure. So for me, I was able to, earlier in the week, we were able to conduct the cold weather task force. That's been our 8th or 9th meeting for this season so far. We've done very well, as much as we can with the resources we have in terms of funding and beds and locations, to be able to keep about 250 people off the streets warm at night. And that way, there's another 200 that we can use as far as next months, if we can get to that. If not next year, we need a total of about 500 people, believe it or not, 500 beds. And that way we try to save lives. We're not trying to shelter or anything like that, but we try our best to keep people warm and safe through the night. So the Cold Weather Task Force meets about every 2 weeks, and we have a lot of great initiatives that we're developing. Also, all three of us took a briefing from the Washington State Minority and Women's Business Enterprise. Ms. Teresa, I forgot her name, but she came down, the director of that. She came and gave us a great brief on just that organization. I'd like to do a plug for that organization. It's super small, only about 12 to 15 people, but they do a large impact as far as getting women and minorities involved in businesses, and we certainly appreciate that effort. Also, I did a press release with Senator Maria Cantwell, who's trying to push a bill through back in Washington, D.C. It's Senate Bill 548. And it is a tax credit for those who are out there trying to build affordable housing, which everybody knows I'm a big advocate for here in Thurston County. But she used the Billy Frank Jr. building, which was used for tax credit. And it's a bipartisan bill, so everybody's happy to get around that, although it's kind of cumbersome how the tax credits are delved out and so forth. But nonetheless, it is a bill that has made it through all the other so-called cuts under the Trump administration, and it's still alive, and we're still trying to gain momentum. And I think it works beautifully here in Thurston County and throughout Washington State. So that's a great endeavor. Also, to thank my two seatmates for the great support that's been for the first year in terms of being the chair, trying to keep everything in tune, in line, on time, and keeping a lot of humor at the table, outside the table, at work, and at home, and taking care of families. All of them are, Hutch and Gary are absolutely right. We cannot do this work whatsoever without the backing of Labadina Bomar, Robin Courts, Ramiro Chavez, Robin Campbell, our assistants, and the great staff throughout the entire county, no matter what department or elected official's office you are in. It's a phenomenal team. It's a phenomenal family, and we love what we do. We want to keep doing it more and more so to take care of the general public. So with that in mind, I'll turn it over to the county manager and see what kind of calendar comments he has.
Thank you. I'm just going to walk you through your calendar just about for the rest of the year. And the appointments that I will be mentioning in my report includes that there are at least 2 commissioners will be present. You may have individual appointments with your individual calendars. Those will not be part of my report. Starting tomorrow, Wednesday, December 13 at 2 in the afternoon, you will have a briefing on the CSA building options. That is the portion of the building next to the triage facility nearby the corrections facility. At 2:30 in the afternoon, you will have the opportunity to have lessons learned of the 2017 interim permit and review process related to the pocket golfer. And also they will give you an opportunity to see how the 2018 interim process could be reviewed, revamped, or changed. At 3 in the afternoon, you have the Habitat Conservation Plan related to the pocket golfer as a progress update. Moving on to Thursday, December 14th, at 9 in the morning, you have your regular update from Superior Court. At 10 in the morning, you have a commissioner's check-in, and I will prepare an agenda in advance to that meeting. And at 12 at noon, you have the opportunity to have your last meeting with your appointed directors over lunch. And at 1:15 in the afternoon, you have the CIP and Thurston Thrives Executive Committee meeting. Friday, December 15 at 1 in the afternoon, Commissioner Blake and Commissioner Hutchins will be part of the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization, TMBHO, regular board meeting. At 2:30 in the afternoon, you will have Title 26 follow-up. Well, you will have the opportunity to hear how you would like to approach Title 26 as it states right now. And at 4 in the afternoon, December 15, we have a team building event where we have the opportunity to celebrate a holiday with the office staff. And also on Saturday, December 16 at 10 in the morning, we will meet at the roof operation through the Operation Santa drop-off in Rochester, Washington, and that is related to the Adopt a Family program. Here in the Commissioner's office, we adopted, I believe, 2 families within the same household. Moving on to the Monday, December 18th, at 3 in the afternoon, you have the Thurston Thrives Coordinating Council. And that will be it, considering all the rest of the meetings for the Board of County Commissioners Cabinet Council. So I'd just like to close my report today by thank you, the board, Thank you for each one of the commissioners for their support, but most importantly, for your commitment and diligence in conducting this very complex county business. I myself, I have been proud to be part of your team, and I'm looking forward to 2018 fantastic year. Thank you.
You bet.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope, just thank you.
Sometimes
Appreciate team event.
Sometimes my mouth goes faster than my brain, and I want to make sure we recognize Whitney Purcell in the front also. She handles all the phone calls and traffic that comes in there, and without her, we would
In
not
the
be
calendar.
straight. Yeah, in the calendar. Oh my God. So yeah.
Oh, my God, the PIOs, yes. Oh, my
PIOs,
goodness.
Yeah. It's a huge endeavor. So,
It's an army.
so with that in mind, is there a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn the Board of County Commissioners meeting of December 12, 2017.
The last board meeting, huh? Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. As stated, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, and we are adjourned.